everyone. But we're going to go right out then into a Q&A because it's going to be like about the community, you guys. We want to hear from you. So, we'll start out with introducing yourselves. Who are you? What videos do you make? Like, do you want to go? Who's going?
I'll go first. Hi, I'm Tati. I make mainly vlogs, but like I try and make them a bit more like cinematic, do that editing, try and vlog-esque sort of stuff. Yeah, that's basically it.
My name's Gemma. I'm very unprepared. I make fandom, LGBT and feminism content.
My name is Ailey. My channel is called That Arky Girl, and I make short films, filmy stuff, and I'm starting to branch into some good old gay stuff, and some stuff on my funky fresh rare disease.
I'm Emma. My channel is Emma Popcorn. I describe my channel as I overthink everything, and then I just say those words to a camera, basically. So, yeah.
Is this one? Hi. So I'm Jojo. I do videos on YouTube. I eat on YouTube because I don't eat on YouTube. I talk about mental health, depression. I do comedy, and yeah, that's it really. Yeah.
Right. Hello. I'm Becky. Thanks, Mum. I'm being Becky, actually, yeah. I make comedy videos, which I try to be funny, but like, I'll let you be the judge of that. And I do vlogs as well, so there we go.
Hey guys, I'm Angela, and I write poetry and try and do the whole old school talking to a camera thing. Yeah, mostly poetry.
Okay, let's start the questions. Is there a smaller YouTube community, and what experience do you have with it?
Yeah, I think there is a small YouTube community because like clearly we're all here, you know. And the experience with it, I guess, right? Yeah.
Did it take you like a while to get involved in it?
Yeah, actually, I went to VidCon EU, and that was like my first ever experience with any sort of like YouTube event, any like sense of like community. Because before I just like I was making videos, like you know, and yeah, then that's when I was like, oh, okay, so like people actually get together and do stuff, and it's like all like cute, yeah.
Very nice. Anyone else?
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, there's a small community in the front row here. Yeah. We have meetups and things, and it just gets bigger each time, and like more people join, and we just find each other like that. It's really nice, yeah. So that's my experience with it.
I guess my experience with the small YouTube community started when I was about 14 and I made a collab channel. And I met lots of people through that, and then through them I met more people, and then more people. And then when that came to an end, I made a little documentary about making internet friends, and ironically made a lot of internet friends through that. And here we are.
My experience, I've noticed that the small YouTube community is so supportive of each other. I think because everyone's in the same boat as each other, everyone understands like the struggles that it takes to get your content out there. So everyone's so uplifting and supportive of each other because of that, I think. You guys, you're great. That's what we're saying. Okay, next question. People talk a lot about this creative viewer divide thing that we have on YouTube. What experience do you have with that, especially like as smaller creators? Because with like bigger YouTubers, that you can see you have like the fans and you have like the big YouTubers, but with smaller creators, I think it's different. So what do you think?
I think being smaller creators, and I know that a lot of people may agree, like the viewer creator divide
isn't a massive thing, because everybody kind of like I feel like everybody started as a viewer, most of us. I know I was watching YouTube way before I started making any videos. So it's making that step into creating is like breaking a wall kind of thing. So the whole creative viewer divide is much smaller, but I do still think it's there with a lot of people. I know that some people I know have struggled with the idea that because we're smaller and there's less people watching us, and people feel like they can automatically be our friends, which is so lovely, and you're so flattered every time it happens. But even if you are smaller, it's still like there's still a boundary that it needs to be there at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. Like me, when I post like my eating videos, I know like I see certain faces where I'm like, oh, they like the KFC one, they like the Pizza Hut one. I see them, but you know, there is a divide. But as being a small creator, as you grow, it gets tricky. But I personally feel that I get to see who watches my videos, and yeah, I'm just a bit nervous. I'm just rambling, but yeah.
I think at events like these, as a smaller creator, you kind of go, it's almost like a weird flip-flop between being a viewer and being the viewed. It's strange, so you'll be in such situations where people have come there for you and then you'll be there meeting other people as well, and it's weird to, how do you interact in that situation? Like, how do you approach people when, you know, you enjoy their content and then people also approaching you at the same time? It's an odd experience, and it's a very strange grey area, I think, that you're not big enough to, you know, have this fan base, but also at the same time people do appreciate your content. There's not really a right and wrong way to do it at the moment. There's no rules and boundaries. I think they're being developed at the moment.
Yeah, how do you deal with being a viewer of smaller creators and approaching them without seeming like just a viewer? So like approaching as a creator, but also as someone who enjoys their content?
Twitter. Follow them on Twitter, interact with them on Twitter. I mean, that is like the way I've majoritively made friends on YouTube. Because I've been doing this like a while. This is like the 5th year I've been making videos, and I feel like within this last year, or kind of since last SitC, is the only time I've made proper, solid friends within the community. But yeah, Twitter.
Yeah, I think YouTube comments are good too. Though I think Twitter is like a bigger way.
Yeah, Twitter is a big way. Like, I saw people that I watched today, and I was like, oh, I saw your Twitter logo, I see you tweeting, and I'm like, oh, like, I actually follow you, and it's hard. I know that sometimes you feel like you're being a bit of a fan, like, oh my God, I love you so much. But obviously, Twitter's a good way to contact, obviously, comments as well, like, just like, I know people who upload regularly, I go and comment on their videos and say, oh, hi, how you doing? I just interact them through comments, even Instagram as well, like in some of their posts, commenting, slide into the DMs.
Yeah, I also think it's important to like, don't think badly of yourself. Don't think like just because you like their content that they're better than you. Like, see yourself as an equal to them, and then they'll see you as an equal.
Yeah, I feel like in the smaller YouTube community, most people know each other, so we're all like secretly like, oh, I know her, she knows me, like, but do we talk and all that. So yeah, it's really different when you're talking to them in person to obviously, what am I saying here? This is so, no. What I'm trying to say is, with the small YouTube community, there's so many YouTube channels, but yeah, take that away. I don't know. Should we be on to the next? Sorry. Oh dear me.
How do you get your voice heard on a platform of millions and millions of others?
It's a pretty big one. Keep talking until the people who listen to you are the people who are the most important.
I think a lot of people think it's like, how do you get your voice heard? It means like millions of people have to watch your video for that to mean your voice is being heard. But like, it could be like 2 people watching and you've made an impact on them, and that's all that matters.
Ultimately, your voice is heard where your truth rings with someone else's, and you connect in that way. That is what it means to connect with someone online. Like,
you both engage in the same things, you're interested in the same things.
Yeah, I think it's kind of sometimes about like finding your niche or finding what you can talk about that people can relate to. Like I recently spoke about my illness, which I had never spoken about properly in my life because it's a gut disease and it's really not spoken about the same as like a heart disease or liver disease. And so it was something that tons of people related to because they had hidden it all their lives just like me. So it was a very weird experience, but it kind of broke through my own little YouTube bubble.
You got a video, but is it working?
Would you say, sorry, consistency as well? Like, obviously regularly uploading, it gets you out there a lot more, and obviously people will see a lot more, so if you stick at it and keep going, yeah.
Yeah, and not just being consistent in like how can you video upload, but also like what you make and like who you are, and like not...
Yeah, definitely. I like to kind of keep things true to home as I have depression and also being a child living in a care home, so nobody really spoke about any of them issues. And, like, I know there's people who have viewed my videos, I've had some people contact me, and it's so nice. Like, I remember going onto YouTube trying to search videos like, what's it like to be in a care home, any other experiences, it wasn't on there. So I personally felt like it was to me to kind of share my experiences as I was going along, to put it out there for people who were going through the same things in the care system. So definitely I like to relate, even if two people see it, it's amazing. So.
I definitely think like when people resonate with you online, that's like a massive deal. I know when people comment on videos and they're like, oh yeah, like this really meant something to me, or like I totally get what you're saying. That's like one of the biggest compliments you can get off people, because it's just like, oh okay, something that's happening in my head is the same that's happening in somebody else's.
Yeah, I recently put up a video about my anxiety, and it really, like I had mums coming up to me at SitC this year being like, oh, it really helped my child and stuff, and that was amazing. It was honestly the nicest thing to hear. So it's really just reaching out to people and being honest, I find. Yeah.
Linking to, it's important to make regular content, of course, but actually it's actually more impactful to make one video every 2 weeks that actually genuinely means something, that's speaking from the heart, that you really care about, than thinking, oh, I've got to upload 2 videos in 2 weeks, so I'm going to make something that I don't really care about. And the content which really gets you out there is the content that you are speaking from the heart, that you do really care about. And if that means you upload less regularly than other people, that doesn't matter, because it's quality rather than quantity in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and also I think that if you don't care about what you're saying, people can tell. But also if you do care, if you like really care about what you're saying, you believe in what you're saying, then people can also tell, and then they're the people that stick around. And they trust you.
I think it's also just like actually being yourself, because there's this pressure for like everyone to be a certain way. Like I know, like when I vlog, the other day I got a comment when she was like, I love your vibe, like it's so chill but still like engaging at the same time, because I'm not the type of person to be like, hey guys, what's up? Like I find that quite uncomfortable. So like just being yourself and like knowing that other people will like connect with you in that way.
Yeah, because I think ultimately people watch videos for people, like they stick around for people, so just be yourself and you'll find your people.
Do we want to go to the audience now? Yeah? Yeah, cool. Do you guys have any questions? I'm going to do a bit of a run around, so... Hello. I was wondering if you have advice on like how to find small YouTubers, because like I always want to find new people to watch and like make friends with and stuff, obviously. But I really struggle to get past like the Zoellas and the people who are just pushed out there all the time. Like, I really struggle to find other small YouTubers.
I don't know if people know about it, but recently, well, kind of recently, Flush on the Tubes on Twitter did a little bit loved hashtag, and that was amazing. I mean, I made so many friends and found so many more creators from that. So check that out if you are looking for really awesome people to go and discover.
Yeah, Flushing the Juice, by the way, is a Twitter account, and they post like a new smaller YouTubers video like every day of the week. So it's a lot. You can find some good people there.
On a similar thread, 1080 do channel spotlights, which are more like in-depth interviews with people. And also I find if you find a channel you really like, quite often they'll have on their homepage, on the sidebar, people that they like or their content, and you'll find it's like a network of people. You'll go through those, and then you'll find people through them, you'll find people through them. Like, you often find the same sort of content that you like. It's interesting, yeah.
And I'd also recommend things like YouTube gatherings, because they're usually a very like welcome environment, and everyone's like happy to chat to each other, and you'll find lots of small YouTubers there.
Okay, question?
So I was wondering if you have any advice for getting more proud and more confident in making videos and just creating in general.
I remember when I was really shy on my channel, and it's only been to like the last 2 years where I've really put myself out there and kind of been like, I really don't really care about anyone's opinion anymore. Like, I know where I've been holding myself back for so long, and it really hurts me because I go up to people when I'm just like, oh hi, and I feel like I can't unlock a bit of my personality. So I would just say, be yourself and just don't hold back, because at the end of the day you're holding back yourself. And you could be making so much great content, but obviously you might be scared of comments and scared of people judging you, but honestly, just put yourself out there and you'll enjoy it more. That's what I would say.
Yeah, like in school, I would be so scared every time someone would come up to me and be like, oh, you do YouTube? I'd be like, oh, gosh, another person I can't look in the eye. But by the end of it, I got so like, well, this is what I love to do, so you're not going to stop doing it for anyone. So yeah, it gets you to the right people. You end up making friends online that don't bother about people in school anymore, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just keep making stuff. Keep making stuff that you love making. I mean, it may take a while to find stuff that you like really enjoy creating, but once you do, like, that is the most important thing, just to like carry on making it. And it's the best feeling when you find stuff that you just love to create, and then people appreciate it. And that, yeah, you will be proud of yourself. It may take time, but you will get there, like, I promise.
I think also being around like-minded people really helps, because I think the only time I started to be like, okay, yeah, I can actually do this and like be confident in what I'm doing is when I went to like those YouTube gatherings sort of things, and then everyone's like, yeah, like I did this, I did that. It's like, oh, okay, so this is actually like not normal, but like it's normal, and like people do it and they're confident in it. It's like, so maybe I can too. And yeah, just forget about what other people think, especially if you're like vlogging, because I vlog, and if you're in public, if you walk past and everyone looks at you like, what are you doing? And then just, you're going to see them for 20 seconds, then they're going to leave and you're not going to see them ever again. So just like, stay in your zone, yourself.
Understand that some people aren't going to get it. Your parents are going to be like, wait, so sorry, what do you do on the internet again?
Parents like hate the fact that I do YouTube. They don't get it at all. They're like, why you're making videos? Like, go study, like what you do. But like, you just have to do you at the end of the day.
Okay, more questions? I'm going down this way. There's no one down here, actually. Front row.
So with the YouTube creator place being so saturated with creators, and the bigger YouTubers now using so much clickbait and stuff, do you guys ever feel pressured to kind of have to use those clickbaity thumbnails and titles to feel like you can still be seen in amongst those larger YouTubers?
You know, I actually had a conversation with someone about this today. Like, it can be like hard because they're like, oh, you need to make a video like this, or have your titles like this, like all caps and all that stuff, to make people see it and make people click on it. But if you want to make stuff like that and you enjoy that, then yeah, make that. But if you don't and you're just doing it so that other people can watch your stuff and you're not happy with it, then I would say there's no point. Just do what you want to do, and someone will see it and someone will like it like you.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about smaller YouTubers is that they do things a little differently, and I guess we're not under quite the same pressures, so we can, yeah, we feel less pressure to do that, maybe.
I mean, there's like nothing wrong with like caring about stuff like analytics and clickbait and stuff like that, but like you don't have to care about it as much as a smaller YouTuber, so like that's cool, but also you can. Like, it's okay to want to be seen, it's okay to like do a trend because you want to do it, because I think sometimes people kind of say like they're all terrible, like bad things, but they're not necessarily.
Yeah, like I did the whole trying candy. Does everyone have, yeah? Yeah, like I did those videos, and like, yeah, they got so many more views than like all my other videos, but that I know that if I were to make those videos, I wouldn't be like happy making those, like they're fun to make obviously, but like I wouldn't be, that's not what I want people to be like, oh, you make those try candy videos, right? Like, so, they're fun, like making them if you want to like, but it's like you don't, I think people like, oh, you make those videos, that's bad, but like, oh, you make those videos, that's better, but like, it's just do what you want, to be honest.
I think in a smaller community like this, what's more important than views is engagement with people. And you've got to remember that even though a video which may be more clickbaity, you may think, oh, I should make videos like that because they're going to get more views. They may not necessarily get you the result that you want, because they will just be people searching for that content, whereas the people who find your videos do more niche things that you really care about are the ones who are going to stay, they are the ones who are going to subscribe, who are going to comment, who are going to become part of you know, your YouTube experience. And so therefore don't ever feel pressure to do clickbait videos, because ultimately the ones that are going to be important are the ones who are there for what you care about too.
Alright, so I was wondering, do you think there is supposed to be a specific type of content that you want to make, like an actual type of videos, or it could be more mixed, like you could do two type of things, but focus on it equally?
Yeah, I'd say it's all about finding your style, would you say? Yeah, and then as soon as you get into your style, everyone's going to know you for, say, comedy or traveling videos and things like that. So, yeah, I'd say keep on the same line. I mean, you stray amongst it, but keep on the same content.
Yeah, I think it's good to try lots of different styles at the start and then just see what ones you like best and what works best for you.
I would actually disagree. I mean, if you have a big audience, then consistency within topics and videos may be a big deal. But if you're in it to just create stuff that you enjoy, I mean, making videos that are completely different, really, if you're enjoying what you're making, it doesn't need to be consistent. If it's things that you want to put out online, then I think just make what you want. And then if you do find a style, then that's great. But if you don't, there's just such a big pressure to have like one particular thing going on your channel. So I know for a while I felt a bit like I haven't been writing enough poetry and there should be more poetry on my channel. But it's kind of like I'm here to create stuff, and I know that people may not appreciate the other stuff I create aside from writing, but I enjoy doing it, so why wouldn't I?
I think it does also depend on like what your goal is. Like personally, like I'm like you, like I do it because I enjoy creating because it's fun. So like I just do random stuff. But like if you do look at like the bigger creators, often they do have like a consistent style. Even like YouTubers that do like a bunch of different stuff, they still have something that links it all together. So I think that does definitely help you like gain a following as well, because like then people, they know what they're coming to see. But then also like it's more fun to just mess around. So I don't know. More questions?
Hi guys. Oh, that's loud. I just wanted to ask, in terms of being a small YouTuber, we might not be at a point where we're lucky enough to have it as our day-to-day life, which we'd probably like doing because you're making videos for your hobby, but how do you cope with having to work and having to live and trying to make your YouTube as well, because you can't afford to live specifically just from that.
No sleep. Ever. No, I was discussing this with some pals earlier, and I was saying if you really want to make the videos, you'll make time for it, so you'll wake up early, or you'll film something in the night, or you'll think of ideas, and like I said, no sleep. Literally.
I guess for me, I've sort of managed to find a career that pays, that is quite similar to the kind of thing I do on YouTube as well. Like on YouTube I make short films, but then in real life I'll be like a runner or an intern on a feature film and that kind of thing. So I'm still enjoying that during the day too.
With me, I do at college I do media photography, so I know I do that and it's kind of the same field, it's just putting the camera, and then I know with me it's more, the editing is what takes, I can sit down, like if I'm going to have dinner, I might as well film it, that's a video, so it's just that, I just film it because people watch it, so yeah, it's the editing that gets me, but I just like to find a balance between when I can film, I know I've got college, and yeah, just trying to find a balance in the equal to
You've got to remember that I think especially for smaller creators, a lot of the time our lives influence our content. We do have more of that freedom to create whatever we do want to create and not feel this pressure to stick to this certain style. So I'd say that even if you do have a job and even if you think it is quite detached from YouTube, remember oh no, it actually can be part of my YouTube. Like you were saying, you do film stuff, the two do lead into each other and don't feel like you have to keep them separate, one can inspire the other in really great ways. So yeah, I think that's important to remember. More about it to the back. Going to get the exercise.
Oh my god. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Some people don't necessarily have access to expensive editing programs, and for some of those people, there only was YouTube's online editor, and on the 20th of September, they're killing off the online editor. So how do you feel about YouTube killing off features?
That's not good.
That kind of school.
Also, there's other features that YouTube has killed off, like the video responses, and that's affected small YouTubers. So, any of this, what do you think? I think what you're saying is, what do you think YouTube could do to, not mess up small YouTubers' lives?
Algorithms? Big word for Bambino Becky, yeah. So obviously we get pushed down completely, and that's starting to become a bit of an issue for small YouTubers. Yeah.
I didn't actually know that about that feature. That sucks. I'd just like to say, if you do have a laptop, then Windows Movie Maker is still good. You can still make videos on that, or I have iMovie, and that's all I make videos on. But
and there's always Video Cut Pro.
Video Cut Pro, yeah, definitely.
Something Miles McKenna was saying, which really resonated with me, is the fact that people come and stay for the people, not the quality, or the physical quality of something. And so even if it's shitty that they cut that off, but there is research-free platforms available, and don't worry oh, I can't make as good as content just because mine is free. No, what makes you engaging, what makes people want to watch you is you, not your editing.
Mentioned a lot of sort of gatherings and things. I've been doing this for 7 years, and I really feel like gatherings are being killed off. I've tried to host quite a few lately, and literally just no one turns up anymore. I think a lot of it's sort of creator days exist, but you need a certain number of subscribers to go to them. What do you guys think we can do to sort of, I suppose, bring back gatherings almost, or get that community feel back?
Do you guys know MB99? She's very Emmy, she hosts 3 a year, they're very popular. She did pre-SitC on Thursday, and you guys should come next year. Anyway, do you guys have anything to add?
I find with my small YouTube community, we go, I know this sounds like a lads on tour, we go around the country, we've done Bristol, we've gone to Glasgow. And more people turn up each time. So obviously, I mean, each time you have a meetup, I feel the community grows. So you just got to get on Twitter, see where the meetups are happening, and yeah, keep getting a bit stronger.
Yeah, I just think like the more people you know and talk to, the more you'll find out about stuff like that. So just like Twitter helps. Yes.
I read the question sheet for this panel a few years ago, and they had a question on it that was, do you feel like you've failed as a small YouTuber because you're not this big thing online? And I thought that was a very weirdly worded question, because it's quite harsh, but I think it's interesting to kind of hear, like, do you ever find yourself kind of wishing you were bigger on YouTube, you had a bigger audience, or is there something inherently nice about having a very small and compact and more personal audience for your content and stuff like that?
I feel like if I became like a massive YouTuber, I'd miss being a small YouTuber, because it's such a good community and everyone's so friendly that it's just, yeah, you definitely miss it. So I'm happy as I am, I won't lie.
I think we do have to be honest though, like, making videos there's always going to be that grain of vanity in it. I mean, you wouldn't put your face on the internet if there wasn't this part of you that was like, hey, I want people to see this. So the whole discussion about like, oh, do you wish you were bigger? It's more of a content thing. It's whether you enjoy making the videos or whether you actually are looking at the algorithm. I know you can enjoy videos and still want to be bigger and stuff, but you've got to draw like your validation from your own personal pride in what you're making, I think, personally anyway.
Hiya, my name's Cassandra, I'm a jeweller, and I don't have no experience of editing or anything, so following up that gentleman's question over there, I do like kind of high-end-ish jewellery, so it does matter if my price points are from £200 onwards. It does matter if I'm doing DIY, how it looks. So if you're looking for like a more luxury video and editing and DIY, aka me, scratch from nothing at 30 or something, where would you start? Because I feel, or what resources can I use? Because I'm starting from scratch.
I think if you have an iPhone, it's a really good way to start off. You don't have to get a deal. It's like, these times are getting 4K on iPhone, so big up to iPhone for that. But also in the editing, like with iMovie, if you like, just get your phone and just like handle stuff, you can stabilize it so it looks much more professional. Like there's so much tools on editing nowadays, like if you just know the angles and stuff that you get, I think you can turn anything like into amazing.
Sorry, what about the intro and outros and the music? I realise you can't just put it on iPhone straight onto YouTube, you have to add some stuff on.
Yeah, obviously if you have Final Cut Pro, you can buy plugins, which is like, it's just crazy. I found that really hard to kind of like get into that. But with music, obviously there are loads of copyright-free things. Like Twitter, I found really good people on there who supply copyright music. Copyright music on there. Or, like, yeah, there's so many tools on Twitter, and with intros. As I said, iMovie have loads of intros on there as well. So I don't think they personally have to go out and research and spend so much money on plugins and all that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's practice really as well. Like, it's possible to get good stuff out of the cheaper stuff, you just have to keep practicing with it.
Also, like, you don't have to do it alone. Like, I think a lot of small YouTubers think like, oh, I've got to edit and I've got to like film this video all myself. But like, there are other people out there who have those skills and have the equipment and that might want to help you. So like, it's worth like looking around and like making friends and talking to people and getting assistance. And there's no shame in that.
There's been a lot of talk on YouTube recently about some of the issues that YouTube has in terms of like diversity, and there was the whole monetization issues. And I just wanted to know if there's anything that you really dislike about YouTube or about the community. Sorry to be a little bit negative, I'm just curious.
I dislike the fact that a lot of the time videos are rated on how many views they have. and I think that's really not useful. I think the videos should be rated and they should be ranked through search results. I think they are a little bit already, but they should even more so be ranked by, or you should have the option to rank videos by like to views, because a lot of the time diversity, people are diverse and people are important to be shown because they're not as common as, you know, the stereotypical, like, you know, cis white male, which a lot of YouTube is. And so because they're smaller they get less views, but they are more important, so you should be able to view and organise content in search results by engagement or something like that, which means you get a more variety of bigger and smaller YouTubers.
YouTube in itself is problematic, like if we're not forgetting how they restricted all of the LGBTQ stuff, and it's just so difficult when there's this big thing that we're all on that isn't, I mean, it's a website, like it's not somebody you can go up and talk to. It's really difficult, the idea that you can't just like email someone and something be sorted. So I think it's always going to be difficult when it's a corporation and then we are creators, and I think there should just be that link within the two, because the communication is difficult because we have issues but they're not listening.
Hello. Oh, wow. Oh, Jesus. So, my name is Brandon, and I think, just as the same for the whole kind of everyone in the small YouTube community, like, we're all pretty much on the same level, although, regardless of subscribers and that, we're all in the same place. We all want to try and improve and make each other better. And one thing I really want to do, there are lots of people I know who do really well, but there's always this one thing I think, you know what, if you could do this, you could do really, really well. But I'm worried that if I say, hey, this could be better, they're going to take that as severe negative criticism and think that I'm the worst human alive. So I just want to know, how can we, you know, talk to each other and improve with one another? Is that... that's my question.
Isn't it like how, when you're trying to like give constructive criticism, you like start with, oh, you did this really well, but maybe you should try this certain way, but then I like just compliment, then the constructiveness, then another like compliment, so like
shit sandwich.
Yeah, that's it.
Or maybe offer to help them with something, or work on a video together and like try out some new stuff and see how it goes down.
I think as well, like if you're sharing something great online, you've also got to expect that criticism. Obviously constructively, not shitting on what you make, but like I think I wouldn't be worried about kind of trying to help people, because if that's what you're doing, if you're trying to help them, then they will take that on. You'd hope so. Anyway.
Your content's only going to get better through feedback, and whether that's self-feedback, when you being critical of your own work, or other people whose opinions you value, and other people's whose opinions you really don't value. You're only going to get better through that feedback, so don't be offended if someone gives you feedback, because actually that's really valuable, more so valuable than someone just saying, oh, that's great.
I mean, personally, I wish more people gave me constructive criticism, because like sometimes you don't know like what people think, and they just say, haha, well, this is funny, like that's not that helpful. Like it's nice, but it's not necessarily helpful, so like just do it, just don't be afraid.
Okay. Hi. Gemma, congratulations. I make my own content, and I think the idea of, oh, I must make this certain type of content in terms of the genre of content, I'm not too keen on that. So my content is kind of, I want to make this, I will make this. If it fails, okay, try it again, let's do this again. So my question is, how do you feel about that? Is that a good way to go about it? Kind of thing? Does that make sense?
I remember when I went through a stage when I first started my channel, I was doing DIY phone cases because I thought that was cool and everybody was doing it. And then obviously, it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, and I just thought it was like a trial and error. So I'll just say, see what your subscribers and what your engagement is really, and then go from there.
growth comes from hard work and being there for a long time and working hard for a long time, and you're only going to do that if you enjoy whatever content you're creating and you're not trying to create for other people. So it doesn't matter if you change, especially since as you grow and develop, your channel should grow and develop, and you're going to be making different things, and you should be doing that as well. So don't worry about making what you think other people want to make, just make what you want to make, and that's actually going to be ultimately in the long term more successful for you.
Hi. Have any of you ever been scared about making a video? So sometimes when I think about ideas, I do sexual relationship stuff and things like that, and I'm worried about maybe what some people might think about what I'm going to say. So have you ever been scared about making content or ideas that you come up with?
Yeah, so this video I made recently about my illness, obviously since I never told anyone in real life about it, I was scared for their opinions and the opinions of anybody who looked at it, and yeah, bizarrely found me even scarier than like coming out, and the reason I did it was because I knew if I'd seen, just like coming out, if I'd seen people making videos like that when I was a kid and I was really scared, it would have helped me, so that was about the only thing that pushed me to do it.
It's when you want to make a video on an important topic, you really want to do it well, so you feel really terrified that, oh, what if I mess this up because it's so important, and yeah, but when you get the response that you do, it's worth it. So.
Hi. Just a quick question about this being called a YouTubers panel. Do we think that being called small is reductive and it less validates what we do as YouTubers in general?
No. I think the whole, obviously it's all about numbers. Being small is a small number, that is why we are small YouTubers. But you say reductive as if being a small YouTuber is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing being a small YouTuber. So no, I don't think it is reductive.
Yeah, being smaller isn't necessarily bad, it's just different. Which is why, because these are different voices to the voices you're hearing on other panels. That's why, you know,
it's all just a number. It's still all people that are watching us. It's just different numbers of people, and that shouldn't be a bad thing, and that shouldn't therefore dictate the quality of what you're creating or how successful you are. You're all just people watching.
Hello. I have a question about how to deal with experience with larger YouTubers who kind of like look down on you. So like essentially the other day I had a run-in with someone and they just called me just a viewer because of the amount of subs I had. How do you kind of like, you know, kind of get over that kind of thing and like being validated by other people in the community? I don't know, but if I see him, I'm going to give him a word of my mind.
I remember a couple months ago, I watched his first on YouTube, and they hit like 500,000, which is a big number, and I was just a viewer, and I just wanted to, you know, I ended up collabing with them, but that wasn't my end goal. I just wanted to get to know them as just a normal person. I found Twitter a very good way. I started talking to them, saying like, oh, what software do you use? What do you use for this? What do you do to that? And then eventually from then, I personally felt like I was being the viewer in that state because I was reaching out to someone way bigger than what I was. So I was like, oh hey, like, I would love to talk to you, and from there I ended up collabing with them, which was amazing, and they're really nice, and I still speak to them today. But Twitter is also a really good way, and I think if you not just go into there like, oh, I love the videos, or like, oh, how are you doing, and like, just normal conversation with them, because they are normal people, I disagree.
Also, like, just a viewer is really demeaning to viewers. Like, viewers are not, like, any less than creators, so, like, they have good things to say too.
How do you, like, put yourself out video, and how do you know what people like, and like, how do you just like know what people would like to see and so?
Honestly, every time I'm about to upload a video, it's kind of that thing where you're just like, okay, just press it, because you never know. There's always going to be someone who likes it, and there's always going to be someone who hates it. So you just have to try, just like, if you like it yourself, just press upload.
Yeah, there's so many people on YouTube that there's going to be someone who enjoys what you're doing. You've got to make it for you, so that's how you put yourself out there. You know that no matter what the end result is, you've enjoyed the process of making it, and that's what the important thing is. And just keep practicing, and you'll slowly feel better about it.
Hello, God, that's so loud. I'm Simon, and I was just wondering, like, how you would, because obviously you said earlier to a previous question, like, oh yeah, if you want to make a video, then try and make time for it, like recording the night or stuff like that. But it's like, obviously, a lot of people here may like, or like with like uni housemates and stuff, and it's like, yeah, like how do you just like get the people like aesthetics and stuff? How have you got that?
So, what you're saying is how to get around like the judgment of family members and stuff? Yeah. Does anyone? That's a good. Your flatmates think you're weird, and you just got to deal with it, and you've got to remind them that you may have big lights in your room, but you're not filming certain adult movies. You're just making YouTube videos. Maybe close your curtains. Yeah. You got to deal with it. Yeah. Like I said, some people aren't going to get it, and that's okay. Yeah.
Hiya, it's loud. Obviously, small creators do actually make up the majority of the platform. Are you satisfied with the representation that you get at events such as this, basically? Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the start of the Small YouTuber panel. I think it's one of my favourite panels. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always so excited about it, and it's so good to see everyone in the audience that's small YouTubers as well. So that's one good representation, but
I think, okay, this is going to be controversial, I already know before I say it. Events like this, they've been made so that bigger YouTubers have a platform to say stuff on. It may have been, like, Summer in the City started out as a gathering, and it's not anymore. It's performances, and it's panels, and it's Q&As and stuff. And so, no, I don't think there is enough representation. This panel is so good. I feel like this panel holds a lot of weight within the community. But it's difficult because, yeah, I mean, this is an event for bigger YouTubers, and I feel like small YouTubers need more respect from bigger people. In the sense that, yeah, I feel like things like this should hold more weight at events and stuff.
The Viewer Creator Divide panel was a really interesting panel because there was a mix of people who were smaller creators to really big creators, and that was interesting, and that panel had value because you had a range of experiences, and that is, and like you said, there needs to be more weight on smaller creators because ultimately that is the experience of 95% of the people viewing this platform. So there definitely needs to be more smaller creators on every panel. There should be.
Okay, hi. So again, I've been on YouTube for the best part of a decade now. I'm a dinosaur, I'm sorry. It's a bit of a contentious question, but obviously a few years ago when all the things about abuse came out, people like myself, we went away for a while because friends, I was caught in the middle of this, friends kept coming to me and saying, we got hurt, I came forward and said, I got hurt. As a community, we need to still talk about it. How, as creators, do we stop this from happening again, from putting people on pedestals and excusing behaviour that is in no way, shape or form
right or okay, because it needs to still be talked about. We can't forget this. How do we do that?
Yesterday on the yesterday on the Creative Viewer Divide, Nisa said something like seriously amazing about how some people are treated as bigger as humans and people, and then there's other people who are treated as less, and it's that kind of behaviour that needs to be avoided. But I think there is a self-implemented thing with bigger YouTubers. That they hold more weight, like just as we were saying about small YouTubers. I wish I had an answer to that because it's so important, but I think talking about it is the first way to go about stopping behaviour like that. And just, I mean, like Rowan yesterday on that panel stood up and said like the best thing, and it's just exposure and stuff, and it's so difficult, it is so difficult. I wish I had an answer.
So we all talk about small YouTube being like this one big, happy community, but would you not agree that there are cliques inside small YouTube, and it makes it very intimidating for somebody who doesn't make videos or is just starting to make videos? You know, you see everybody in these like pre-existing groups, and like you have to try like slot yourself into that. So how is small YouTube friendship, I won't call them cliques, how is small YouTube friendship groups can we make ourselves more approachable to newer people on the platform?
I guess at things like this, it's sort of looking out for people who look a bit lost or alone and trying to get them involved with your group.
Please just be nice to people. Whether you are approaching someone because you really admire their content, or someone's approaching you because they really admire your content, it's back to exactly the same thing where there's a stigma, like someone is above someone else because you are a viewer or they are a creator. Like, no, we're all just human beings. Please just be nice to one another and talk to one another with the respect that you would like someone to talk to you, and then with that you break down boundaries, and with that you can make friends which aren't defined by whether you are the viewer and you are the creator, and you just end up making genuine human connections, and that's what's important.
Also, again, I think it comes down to valuing yourself. Like, you might see these people and be like, oh, they're better than me, like they all know each other, like they've been around for ages and I'm just here like this small little insignificant me. But you are like a person like them, and they probably like have felt like that once. So like don't be like down on yourself.
Hi, here's Len. Okay. So I'm a creator and I make lots of videos, and sometimes when I'm like halfway through making a video, I stop and I'm like, nobody's gonna want to watch this. Why am I even doing this? Why am I making this video? So I stop. Do any of you have experience with like just at the same right now? But
I feel like we'd be lying if we said we didn't. I feel like that you're always going to have that little bit of self-doubt whenever you make stuff. I do that on a very regular basis. Just sitting there and going, oh, actually, no, I'm just going to turn the camera off. But self-doubt is also a thing that you need to motivate yourself. If you can turn that self-doubt into, actually, you know what, like, I'm going to prove myself wrong and make this and put it up, that's like a really good attitude to have, and go forwards from that and just create stuff.
Do we have time for one more question? Okay. Hi.
Oh wow, no one was lying when they said this was loud. So I think when we talk about creators and viewers, we tend to think of viewers as these kind of abstract, faraway strangers, because a lot of us are, at least until we meet in person. So how do you deal with real life people finding your YouTube channel, especially when your actual name is on there rather than like a stage name? So like friends, family, especially employers, it can get a bit awkward if what you make isn't like workplace friendly. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk now, thanks.
I mean, there's a reason I tell everyone my surname's Popcorn. It's not actually.
I think if you approach the topic and if someone talks to you about it and you act really awkwardly about it, they kind of take the automatic presumption that it's something to feel awkward about or it's something to be ashamed about. Whereas if someone talks to you about it and someone says, oh, I see your YouTube, or oh, do you do YouTube, and you're proud of it, and you explain and you're succinct and you show that you are proud of it, because you should be proud of it, I think people are like, oh, people's minds are changed about it, and they're like, oh, so maybe this is a good thing that, that you should be proud of, because employers should love the fact that people do YouTube. It shows that we invest hours of our time into something that we genuinely care about. And just loving to do something. Like, that's great. Employers should be like, do you not have a YouTube channel? Why do you not? And yeah.
I feel like you said that. Oh, yes. Thank you, everyone. This has been amazing. You guys are great.
Hello. I'm just not a random man who just got on stage. Hi everyone, I'm Taha. I'm this year's panels coordinator. If you've ever been to a smaller YouTuber panel before, you know that the last panels coordinator, Jazza, always gets up and does a little chat at the end, and he's not here anymore. This is a pantomime. And so I'm up here. And I have some notes. One was, we mentioned flushing the tubes, which is something that I helped be a part of. And I just wanted to plug the Twitter, which is @flushthetubes. So you can, discover new people. Secondly, we had a question about this being for larger creators and all of that. And I just want to shout out last year's moderator, Mary Aikman. She ran an event. She ran an event called Community Unite, which was for smaller creators, by smaller creators, in association with Mark Jacobs, all of that. And let's see what else I have. Feel free to hang out after the panel. Like, we're all like, put your hand up if you're a smaller YouTuber. Make friends. And I'm panels coordinator this year in a large part due to the small YouTuber community. Like, I would be denying the fact that I was a massive critic of some of the stuff that the way SitC was run last year, and it was the smaller YouTube community that was like, also agreeing with it, retweeting it, and got myself and the things that I was saying noticed by the organisation in a constructive way, and that's why they brought me onto the team. So I want to say thank you for that. And I feel like that's a massive testament to the power that we have as smaller creators. We make up the vast majority of the community. That's like the larger YouTubers are a tiny percent of what's on the platform. Most of it is us, and we have the power to influence events like this. And if we think that something isn't right, if we will stand up, things will change. And I feel like I'm a testament to that, because I feel like the small YouTube community got me to the place that I am. That I'm the panels coordinator this year. And talking about panels, I was brought on really late this year, and I kind of want to put more small YouTubers and stuff. So, yeah, basically, small YouTubers have so much power. Especially when we we make our own stuff, like Community Unite, and have initiatives outside of some of the city. And I want to kind of encourage that and say I love you all.
Feel free to hang around and make some friends, like Taha said. And yeah, it's been great. Thank you.